I can't imagine having had such a wonderful experience from a long distance, because we were still in Maryland trying to build a house in North Carolina, and it was one of the most joyous things that I've ever done, and would not make me afraid if this were not my last house. It wouldn't make me afraid to do it again. I've heard horror stories where people have said, oh my gosh, I'd never build another house. It's just a horrible thing, and especially when you're out of state. But Mark was wonderful.
Well, one of the first things he did was he suggested that we consider going green. And we didn't know what green really meant, although it sounded good to us, and I was very familiar with the idea that it was going to reduce our costs. And so I was very willing to go ahead and go along with it, but I didn't know what it was going to entail and how much it was going to cost. And Mark was able to not only tell us a little bit about the cost, but he was able to send us to other houses that he was building to show us what a greenhouse really looked like, and some of the factors that went into being green. And he would cost them out to us, not only the cost of doing it, but also what we can expect to save. And I thought that was a very beneficial part about dealing with Mark. And quite frankly, we didn't give up anything in the house of what we were looking at. And in terms of comfort, in terms of windows or anything else, he was able to adopt and adapt it to a greenhouse. And we qualified with a very high green rating from at the end of it, and we've been very, very happy with what it's done to us in terms of savings on our power and energy costs. As a first-time home builder, Mark was really a help for us all, and that actually includes his entire office staff. I mean, we had help on all the hard things you don't think about, things like doorknobs and cabinet knobs, and what kind of sinks to put in, and things that could be absolutely too enormous a problem to deal with if you didn't have some help. And he was able to help simplify it down for us. His staff took us around to some places to actually choose those things and help keep us from making some of those mistakes that always lead you to what were they thinking questions when people comes in to look at it. And I think that was very important, and we got some very good advice from his office staff in terms of those kinds of issues. And those are some of the things that I've heard from other people, that when they build a house, that the number of decisions are left to the homeowner are just too enormous to even cope with. Mark's staff helped us through those, and they were really pretty easy as a result.
I can't imagine having had such a wonderful experience from a long distance, because we were still in Maryland trying to build a house in North Carolina, and it was one of the most joyous things that I've ever done, and would not make me afraid if this were not my last house. It wouldn't make me afraid to do it again.